Hello and welcome to this special segment. We are talking about Meadow Brook Theater's 50th anniversary. And today we have two wonderful guests here. We have Mr. Travis Walter, Artistic Director. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And we also have Mr. Thom Foxlee, Board President. Thanks for being here.
Happy to be here.
Excellent. So it's a 50th anniversary. This is very exciting. Tell me what's been going on at the theater.
Oh my goodness, so much has been going on at the theater. We've been getting ready to celebrate this wonderful anniversary. We've put together, we opened the season with a wonderful fundraiser with Tommy James and the Shondells. We brought Tommy James and the Shondells. Many people remember their music from the 60s, 70s, so much fun. We had a sold out fundraiser. It was really fun. And now the season gets underway in October with a lot of brand new plays and musicals, 6 brand new shows, and A Christmas Carol. So 7 shows starting in October, running to the end of June. And there's lots of special events throughout as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun this season. We have a lot of things coming up, right, Thom?
Yep, we do. In fact, we have a book coming out. It's 50 years of Meadow Brook Theater, and it goes through the whole history of Meadow Brook Theater, starting in the beginning and works on through to the present time with Travis here. And I think it's important that the book really goes through the whole history and brings people and the plays and whatnot to life. It was a fun project.
And tell me about that. You and your wife, Marianne Foxlee, you put this together. Talk about some of the chapters. What sticks out to you guys?
Well, the first couple of chapters are really about how the theater was formed. It started with an idea. Chancellor Varner at the time wanted Oakland to become a fine arts school. And he felt to do that he had to have professional music and acting available to the school and integrated in with the music and theater and dance department that they had. He was able to recruit John Fernald and came in 1966. The theater started in 1967. First show was January 3rd. It was the Caucasian Chalk Circle.
Yep,
Caucasian Chalk Circle.
That's right.
And it was great. And the theater has been through many changes over the years, but one thing that's really been very consistent is the shows are great. They're all produced there. Scenery's made there, designed and made there. Costumes are designed and made there. Everything is done right on site. And right now we're basically the same kind of theater we were 50 years ago. So.
And what I love about the book, and what with Tom's wonderful hard work and Marianne's hard work and everybody at the theater putting this book together, is that if you've been a part of our audience at all in the past 50 years, you're going to recognize something in this book. And the wonderful thing is that Meadow Brook Theater has a generational audience. Many people have their season tickets. Many people are still there from day one, but a lot of people, their grandparents had their seats, and then their parents had their seats, and they passed their seats down. So you're going to see something you recognize in this book, which is a really amazing, wonderful thing. And get to a little bit of, there's a wonderful behind the scenes chapter that Thom threw in, where you get to see how we put together an 1,100 gallon rain system in 8 minutes, and things like that that we did on stage, live on stage. So it's really fun to see that, because Meadow Brook is a nonprofit organization. It is Michigan's largest producing professional theater, which means that the shows are not bus and truck, they're not brought in. We actually produce everything right here in Oakland County is where we are. So it is great. We have a small staff. We build all the sets, as Thom said, we make all the costumes. We design everything here. And then once a play is gone from here, it's gone forever. Many times people say, oh, where can we see this next? Where can we see it on tour? I have a friend in Florida. Can we tell her to see it? I'm like, you can't see it. Once it's here, it plays for 4 weeks, and then it's gone forever. So we always tell people, get out to Meadow Brook Theater while you can, while the show's on, and see it, because other people may produce the same show, but we give it the Meadow Brook Theater touch, which our audiences have been enjoying for 50 years. So we're really excited about that. And that's one of the things I love about the book, is that you get to see a little bit of the little history. There's a little part on the rehearsal room where you see our rehearsal room space is so much smaller than the regular stage. If you've ever been to our stage, it's so much smaller, and you think, how do they transfer from this tiny little space to this big space? So it's a wonderful behind the scenes look at a great 50 years. So people should pick the book up, and they can get it at the theater.
Okay.
It's on sale. We have lots of copies at the theater, and like I said, we're a nonprofit, so all of the funding, all of the money, proceeds from the book come right back to help support the theater and put those great shows on the stage. So you're helping a good cause when you do it.
Excellent, and I think having a local theater right here is so important. And so you do musicals, you do all sorts of shows, is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, in fact, we have expanded. We now do 3 dramas and 3 musicals a year. So the dramas, of course, ranging from anywhere from comedy to farce to drama to classical, and then the musicals as well. A lot of people are really into the musical aspect and have been growing their fondness for musicals. But what we love to do is challenge the audience every now and then. Like, we have a brand new musical straight from New York. Has only been done in Sydney, Australia, and New York, and it's brand new. It's called Atomic. It is about the scientists who made the atomic bomb. And you're like, how is that a musical? Well, it is a rock musical, and I guarantee when people are done, they're going to have learned something. It's going to have touched them. They're going to cry. It's a beautiful, beautiful story, and so it's not just fun and fluff all the time. Although we do have wonderful shows that bring in like the 50s harmonies, barbershop quartet harmonies like Forever Plaid, and we do have those wonderful comedies. We have a fantastic comedy starting the season called The Explorers Club, which is a Michigan premiere, which means we're the first theater in Michigan to do it. It was just off Broadway 2 years ago, and it's all about an explorers club in England in 1879, and all of these men, with all of their different. One's an archaeotheologist, one's a botanist, one's just a regular explorer, and they all think that they know everything, and they want to induct a woman into their midst, and she may just be smarter than all of them, and it causes such a ruckus. It's very funny, and it's just a wonderful way to start the season. And in that show, we actually, for opening night, which is October the 10th, we actually are having a afterglow presented by Lely's of Auburn Hills and Manny's of Rochester. They're doing a wonderful afterglow free opening night that is October the 10th at 6 o'clock. So that's going to be really exciting, and the whole audience is invited. You don't have to pay extra for it. You just come and have a great time. The actors will all be there. You'll get to mingle with them. We have so many wonderful things coming up. So we hope people come join us.
Good.
I think one of the things Travis has brought to the theater is a vision of what a complete season should be. And he mentioned dramas, musicals, and comedies, and he is able to pick ones that are sometimes challenging. We did a show called Falling, and that was about autism, and it was very well attended by people that had an interest, and people that didn't know what it was that came in walked out having learned something. And I think that was a really special thing about Meadow Brook. The other thing he has done is he's really focused on new to Michigan. So when you come to Meadow Brook, you don't see the same thing. You're not going to come and see cats every year or anything like that. So,
what's wonderful is that Meadow Brook has joined the national theater conversation by starting with these Michigan premieres. We've had world premieres. We've had shows that have come straight to us from London that they've let us do before anybody else, and that's really fun. It's fun for us. It's fun for our audience as it grows, and people really love that. And what I love is that people. Our slogan actually came to us from a subscriber that I overheard in the lobby. She was telling her friend, "You've got to come to Meadow Brook. It's Meadow Brook is Michigan's answer to Broadway." And it was so flattering and wonderful that we took our slogan right from the words of our patrons. And that's what I love, is that people now, it doesn't matter what show we're putting on, they know that they're going to like it. They know that they're going to like how the Meadow Brook touch, how we do it, how we handle it. So it's really exciting when you hear that out in the community. But what's wonderful is the camaraderie of the actors on stage. The fact that it's not like a movie. It's not, you don't sit there in the dark with people that you don't know and just have this experience. You sit there in the dark and you're engaged, and the whole community gets involved, and you watch it together, and you know that it's different night to night. That's what makes it exciting. That the audience is the last character. They're the final character that we put into the show, and their response feeds those actors on stage. So that's what's so cool about live theater, and that's why I love putting together, that's why we pride ourselves at Meadow Brook Theater, putting together a season with all of the hills and valleys that we go through in life. You know, that we want to make sure that we hit all of those so that there really is something for everyone.
And you're really telling a story, and sometimes the audience laughs where actors didn't think, oh, I didn't know you were going to laugh there, and you do, and you have to wait for that pause, and it's real.
We had a show that we added many minutes onto because we all of a sudden, in fact, this last season, we had one where the actors even broke down laughing in the middle of the show because it became like the Carol Burnett show, and every night at the same spot, it was this wonderful exchange between the audience and the actors on stage. And all of the actors that we use are professional actors. So they're in the Actors Union. They're just like the people you'd see on Broadway. They're just like the people you'd see in a bus and truck show, except they come and they join us at Meadow Brook for 3 weeks of rehearsal. We actually have 17 days of actual rehearsal, and then we get up on the stage. Then they do the show for 4 weeks, and then a lot of them are local, some of them are not, some come from out of town, but it's really amazing to have that wonderful talent and the experience that they bring to the shows, and just having the wonderful professionalism that comes with it, so you know you're going to see a great quality product when you get to the theater.
I think Travis has established a presence in New York. He, when we haven't been able to find actors here that are suitable for a part, a few years ago we started going to New York for auditions, and we get wonderful people from New York, and not only the actors, but musical directors, choreographers, everything. So when we need something, Travis knows where to go get it. He got almost one whole cast from Chicago a few years ago.
And New York. Cheryl Marshall, our managing director, is fantastic, a wonderful person to have at my side when we go to auditions in New York. She knows exactly what we're looking for, and we make a great team figuring out who should be cast in what roles. And a lot of times a show can be cast 7 different ways, and so you need that teamwork, and you need to talk about it and decide, oh, I think this person, but if we put this person, maybe we should put this person with them. And she goes to New York with me, and we do it together as a team, and it's so much fun to see all of the talent that's out there, and then to see where it goes. I mean, just recently, from Next to Normal, one of our girls that was in Next to Normal just was on Broadway in Honeymoon in Vegas. One of the girls that was in Lysistrata Jones with us has moved on. She was just in Broadway on The Town. And one of our the girls from last year has just gone on to do the Lion King tour. So it's really great. And you're seeing more people out there in the world that are going to have Meadowbrook in their bios. When you're going out there looking at those shows, you're going to see Meadowbrook Theater in a lot more places because we've had a lot of wonderful talent come through. And not to mention the wonderful talent that came through many, many years ago that are all in this book. Like Curtis Armstrong and, Freddie Krueger. Freddie Krueger came through, Robert Englund came through, and William Hurt was on our stage. And, many, Deanna Dunnigan, who won a Tony for August Osage County, was on our stage. Raul Esparza, who's a huge Broadway actor, was on our stage. And we talked to him recently in New York, and he still says that Meadowbrook Theater was one of his favorite experiences of all time. So it's really flattering to go out and talk to those people after they've come to Meadowbrook. They love Michigan. They say that the Michigan audiences are the best ones they've ever had. And I really feel that they're telling us the truth. I don't think that they're just being kind. I think I really feel it. You can tell when someone's being sincere, and I really think that there's something special going on at Meadowbrook Theater, and I'm looking forward to another 50 years. Hopefully I'll still be around.
Oh, I won't be, but you. So I think one of the really special things about Meadowbrook Theater is that Travis and Cheryl, they've created a family atmosphere. And I mean, they have supporting groups like the Guild, which you hear about, and Saturday Nighters, and all kinds of people that really work with the theater. But they welcome everybody into the theater, the actors and whatnot. Actors with almost across the board will say, this is our favorite place to be, we want to come back, we've never been treated this well before. And it really comes down to Cheryl and Travis and their attitude. They lead by example, and it really is, it's great to be there. It really is a lot of fun.
And when you hear about, that's 50 years of Meadowbrook actors, that's an incredible story. And how long have you been president?
3 years.
3 years?
Third year. Yeah, this is my third year.
This is your third year?
And you started out as an usher, is that correct? You and your
I did.
He worked his way up.
Almost 50 years ago, yeah. The first year they were open, my wife and I were ushers at the theater, and it's been really a great experience for us all the way through. We became season ticket holders. After Mary Ann retired, she wanted to give back, and she joined the guild and became the president, and did spotlights and lunch in the aisle and all kinds of guild things. But she's always there for the theater. They say, well, we're going to put a window in the library. She says, I'll do it. And
very active, very active. We couldn't do it without them. I mean, that's the wonderful support that the community gives, but also the wonderful support that people on our board and guild members and people like Thom and Mary Ann give to the theater. It's really, truly amazing. If you're like, we're going to do a centerpiece, Mary Ann's like, I've got the flowers, I've got this, I've got, and so it's just such a wonderful family atmosphere that everybody loves to be there. We're shaking hands after the show. We're thanking people for coming. We're really trying to let them know, again, that they're the most important part of the theater. The audience is the most important part, and without them, we're nothing. So that we're really here for you. Yeah, we're a theater, but it's about the people. It's about the atmosphere, and it's about what you take home with you when you go.
Yeah. I think part of it, the reason it's so great, is Travis and Cheryl are out there available after every show, and people now feel comfortable. They all come up and talk to both of them.
Absolutely.
And they tell them how they feel, what they liked, if they had a concern, and it didn't used to be like that. You would never see the artistic director up there after a show. It just didn't happen.
No.
And we were season ticket holders for probably 30 years on and off, and that never happened before. So it really is a nice change.
We really wanted to be accessible, Cheryl and I, to the audience, so that they could put a face on the theater, but also so that if they had a concern, they could tell us. They could say, oh, the music was too loud tonight, or and know that they've been heard. I really feel like that's a very important part of the customer service aspect of theaters, because if you have to know your audience, and if you don't know them, then you're just putting a slate of shows together and hoping people come. But if you get to know them and understand them, like there was one time where we asked for donations, and I made a plea. I said, if you cannot make a donation to the theater, bring someone with you. Buy another ticket. Bring someone. Maybe you know someone who can't get out of their house. Maybe there's someone down the lane. Maybe there's someone from church. Maybe you could bring someone. And after that, we had a ton of people coming in, and they're like, Travis, they'd see me in the hallway before the show. This is the person I brought with me. And it was really wonderful, because the community was connecting with the leadership of the theater, and they feel that they know me because I do the curtain speeches before every show, and we try to dress up sometimes in silly costumes to make people laugh, tell a few groaners, and get the whole ball rolling before the show. And so they feel that they know me, and I want them to feel that way. And I try as hard as I can to remember everyone's names. Now there's about 4,000 subscribers. I do know very many of them, but sometimes I get them mixed up.
Sure.
I do need help every once in a while.
Yeah.
Usually, if I've talked to you 2 or 3 times, I'll definitely know the face. Yeah. Hopefully, I'll get the name with it. And we really want to be that wonderful, personable place that you enjoy coming to. That it's like it's not just a movie theater where you just walk in and you sit alone and you try to sit as far away from everybody else as you can, and nobody notices you, and then you leave and your experience is done. We really want you to have a wonderful, friendly experience when you're at the theater.
And I think that's why it's been 50 years. It's really worked. And tell me a little bit about the theater. It's an intimate setting. How many
There's
seats are there?
584 seats. 584 seats. It is handicap accessible. We do have several seats. If you're coming for that, you'd have to tell us ahead of time on the phone, because we actually pull seats out to accommodate wheelchairs and things like that, because it's a rear loading theater, so there's steps all the way down. But because of that, the distance between the last row of the theater and the stage is the same as the pitcher's mound to home plate in a baseball field. So if you can imagine that, it's a pretty intimate space, and there's really no obstructions. There's not a bad seat in the house, and we just got a new sound system in the theater, and thanks to a generous grant from the state of Michigan and some wonderful generous donors, we've gotten some new lighting fixtures. So we're really upgrading. A couple years ago, we rehauled all of the seating through the funding with help from Oakland University and our donors. We recovered and refurbished all of the seating, and the floor area is all now it's not just the poured concrete like it was before. It's all been redone. It's a beautiful space, and you should come see us. Yeah,
you should. And one of the interesting things about the space is it wasn't designed to be a theater. if you read the book, one of the background items is that when they decided to get Fernald and have him come in, they didn't have a stage. They didn't have any plans for it. They had no budget for it. So what they did was they took a lecture hall over in Matilda Wilson Hall and converted that into a stage in an area that could actually accommodate a theater. And it's unfortunately there are some compromises for the theater because it was a lecture hall in the beginning. So that was.
But it's always fun when you get a new set in there and you get a new designer. It's like, how are they going to overcome these obstacles? There's no fly loft like you have, like where you can drop sets in and out. But it's always interesting to see how the problem gets solved.
Yes.
In fact, one of the things you can do with a big area is you can fly people. And to do that, we did that with Dracula Rock Opera, and Travis had to go out and find a company that would come in and set up and fly our vampires.
That's right. We had flying vampires in our theater for the first time. It was so much fun.
That's the only time.
The only time that we've had flying people,
right.
yeah.
So.
That's amazing. Well,
Pretty
thank
cool.
you both so much for being here and
Thank
talking
you
about
so
this
much.
50th anniversary. Yeah, we're going to take a little break and be back with somebody else from the Meadow Brook Theatre, but thank you both again for being here.
Thank
We
you so
appreciate
much.
it. Yep,
Great.
we'll be right back. Welcome back to this special segment. We're talking about Meadow Brook Theater's 50th anniversary. And now we are here with Suellen Parkes, and she is chair of Spotlights Market. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And so just tell us a little bit about Spotlights Market.
Spotlights Market began in 1977 with Cindy Sarar saying, we need to have another event to raise money for the theater. So we were at the Shotwell Pavilion for about 2 or 3 years, and then we moved from there to downtown Rochester for about 14 years. And then we just really outgrew our space. We were kind of landlocked with a bank in the corner and everything. So we had the opportunity to go to the village of Rochester Hills, and so that's going to be our new home.
Oh, perfect.
We've already signed up for the next year.
Oh, good. And so is the Spotlights Market, is that different than the Theater Guild?
The Theater Guild they work together in that the Theater Guild helps put on the Spotlights Market.
Okay.
And the Spotlights Market is a juried trade show. I come from the trade show industry. But it's a juried show for artists, and we have people who hand make all the items. That's a requisite for being in it. You must hand make the items. They cannot be buy and sell items. And so we have had up to 125 artists in our show. We pride ourselves on the jury committee, which I have this year is wonderful. And they look at what people have sent in, because we ask for at least 3 of their product as well as 1 of their booths, so we can see how they present themselves. And then when we have people in, say, like the jury category, we always go back and look at the other ones and say, okay, how is this like someone else's, or is it entirely different? So we don't have artists replicating the same thing. So we want to keep the integrity of each artist there. And so we make sure that they are individual and unto themselves.
That's amazing.
And as I said, we're now in the village of Rochester Hills. We have about 115 to 118 spots filled. We're now taking waiting lists, which is wonderful for a first-time show. We normally, when we've been at the show in downtown Rochester, we usually, when I took over 4 years ago, we started saying, if you would like, you can sign up for next year's show. We'll give you the price that you paid for this year if you'll sign up for next year. And so we usually have at least a quarter of our show that signs up for the following year. So that gives us a start then on the next year.
That's very promising.
It really makes it a lot easier on us with the jury committee.
Yeah. And so how did that all start? When did it begin?
It began in 1977 with Cindy Sarar, and we have the Guild has 2 different fundraisers because we are the primary fundraiser for the Meadow Brook Theatre.
Okay.
To date, we have donated, from the 1977 on, we have donated over $750,000 to the theater.
That's amazing.
So we donate from Spotlights Market and from, I think from Luncheon on the Isle, which is the other fundraiser that we have, which is wonderful. It's a boutique for women, and then we have raffles, and we have a gourmet lunch, and then they come into the theater and they see selected scenes from the musical that's going to be playing. And so that raises a lot of money. And we do quite well every year because of the fact that it is so well known. Spotlights Market now, we hear artists saying, well, so-and-so told me to be in your show because they love your show. And so we have developed this repertoire of being a good show to be in. And this year is our 24th year. Next year we're going to do a whole lot of really big things for the 25th.
Ooh. And when does that event go on?
The event is going to be October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We'll be doing our setup on the 1st and the 2nd, some of it on the 3rd, but it's open to the public starting the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th. The hours are from 10 in the morning on Friday and Saturday until 9 o'clock at night, and then on Sunday it's from noon until 6 o'clock in the evening.
And how does it feel to be such a big part of this and be able to give to the Meadow Brook Theatre?
I think it's one of the best things. As president, I was hoping that we would be able to donate $100,000 in the 2 years that I was president, but we didn't quite make that. I think we did between $50,000 and $70,000. And it was just wonderful. The family that you have between the Guild and the Meadow Brook Theatre is just a wonderful thing, and all of the members that come and join the Guild know that they can go to the meet and greets when you meet the new artists. They can see the new set that nobody else has seen yet, and even the actors haven't seen it yet. We get to hear a read through of the play, we get to see what the costumes look like, and so we kind of get that little preview before anybody else does. We also have, when the show is going on, they need to have some meals for the tech crew, because the artists get to go out for dinner, but the tech crew has to stay there and make changes for the lighting, the sets, the sound, props, anything like that, and they need to eat. So the Guild brings in food for them, so they kind of have an in-house picnic.
Sure.
And we do things like that that really just get you involved with the theater itself. And until this year, and because we'd had to change the date, we're not going to have the interns to be able to help us with the setup. So I'm looking for different groups that need to have public service hours to come and to help volunteer.
Good.
To set up, and it's a lot of our Guild members like to do the shuttle service, which is taking the artists from the show to the parking lot and then back and forth in the mornings. And they like to talk to the artists and say, how's the show going? What do you like? What do you dislike? And so forth. And we have amazing stories that the artists tell about being in our show.
I bet. And so if somebody would like to volunteer, is there a website that they can go to?
They can come to www.spotlightsmarket. And then on there, just make a comment. Comment on Spotlights Market and say, I would like to volunteer. This is my contact information, and I will give them a call.
Excellent.
I'm the head honcho, so.
And then there's also another website, meadowbrooktheatreguild.com.
For people who would like to join the Guild and find out a little bit more about it, that would be wonderful.
Okay, so that's some great information. If anybody wants to get a hold of you again, what was the website?
www.spotlightsmarket.com.
Okay.
And the show dates again are October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, the Village of Rochester Hills, which is Adams at Walton Boulevard in Rochester Hills. And the dates of the times of the show are the 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Friday and Saturday, and noon until 6 p.m. on Sunday.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Suellen Parkes, for
Thank you.
being here. I
appreciate
it. And again, for more ticket information, you can call 248-377-3300 or go to mbtheater.com. Thanks for watching.